Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another podcast here. Just welcome back after 6 weeks of not doing one of these. It's kind of fun and interesting to get back into doing some of these things. So I'm just going to do these as basic as possible. These are going to be Final Cut Pro, what you need to know, and really they're just very simple. Going over the test preparation is what this is. Now I'm not teaching to the test, but these are things that you need to be aware of, and that'll probably be to look for on the certification test when you take it. All right, so here we go. Lesson 1, name 3 ways to open up Final Cut Pro. So anytime you want to open up Final Cut, 3 ways. You can do it right here in the dock area. You can come over to your applications, go to Final Cut, right down here, open it up, or I could look for a Final Cut Pro project file, which you can see I have several right over there, and then I could open up a Final Cut Pro project file. So those are 3 ways to open up Final Cut Pro. Okay, so now let's talk about the modifier keys that are used in Final Cut Pro. And I think you guys know these. It's very simple. I'm going to go to the keyboard layout, and I'm going to customize it. And if I just blow this thing up right here, you can see here are your modifier keys. What are they? Shift, Control, Option, Command. Shift, Control, Option, Command. The bottom left corner of your keyboard, Shift, Control, Option, Command. Those are the keys that will allow you to modify commands. Okay? So how do we access a shortcut menu? I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? If I want to come up in the browser and I want to maybe change the view of this, I'm going to right-click. I can zoom in here, and I just want to quickly export, or I can look at the item properties, clip settings, any of those things. But I've accessed a shortcut menu just by right-clicking or control-clicking. Okay. And in what main menu would we find the import command? Well, now notice this question is asking for the menu. Okay, so what main menu? Very simply, looking up the Final Cut Pro menu, it'd be under File, Import, and of course the keyboard shortcut Command I. Alright, so that's the keyboard shortcut to bring in files. Okay, so besides clicking on the play button, what keys on your keyboard can you press to play a clip or sequence forward? So if I want to play this forward, I can, what could I do? Hit the space bar. Okay, there's one way of doing it. Or I could hit the L key, right, to hit play, K to pause, J to rewind. Okay, so the space bar, there you go. Now, let's talk about 3 different ways to open up a clip in the viewer. Okay, remember, this is the viewer. There are, remember, the main menus, or excuse me, the main interface windows, viewer, canvas, timeline, browser. You guys know all 4 of those. You're very familiar with those. Okay, so if I want to open up a clip in the viewer, what can we do? Well, let's come up over here, and I'm going to open up this first one. I can double click. There it is in the viewer. Okay, what you're seeing are clips of my presentation about the iPad. Or if I want to, I can highlight a clip and hit return, which a lot of people don't think about. Or I can just click and drag over to the viewer. So those are 3 ways to open up a clip in the viewer. Okay, so when I just did this a second ago, besides clicking the play button, what keys on your keyboard can you press to play clip or sequence forward? We said the space bar, okay, or L key. Which keys move the playhead forward or backward in 1 frame increments in the viewer, canvas, and the timeline? Okay, so if we're looking at keys here, what would that be? Well, the arrow keys. There's one frame at a time. To the right and to the left. Okay, 1 at a time. No big deal. I think you guys can handle that. Okay, the next one is how do you mark an in or an out point on a clip? Oh, for heaven's sake. We'll just open it up and we hit I and O on the keyboard. That's an easy way to do it. Or I can come over here and I can select my in and out buttons right over here. Mark in and mark out. But we all know that the best way to do it is the keyboard shortcut I and O. Okay, so how let's see here. What button in the canvas window do you click to edit a clip? So if we wanted to edit a clip, what would we do? Now, interestingly enough, let's just say I pick this clip up, this digital literacy clip, and I just want to get to the timeline. Well, I can overwrite it. So that's the button in the canvas window that they're talking about, the red overwrite button. Very simply putting it in. That's going to be your standard edit, okay? Really, your insert edit is not your standard edit, it's the overwrite edit. So you guys know that. All right, let's talk about viewing indicators or visual indicators. Okay, so if we're in the viewer, and let me open this up here. Now, what is the visual indicator in the viewer that lets you know you're on the first or last frame of the entire clip? So if I come over here, what is that visual indicator right there? Well, that is a film strip. Okay, so it looks like a bunch of sprocket holes. That's the first frame, and here's the last frame. It's the same look. Okay, it's just the sprocket holes right there. So it looks like a film strip. All right, that's in the viewer. So what's the visual indicator in the canvas window that lets you know that our playhead's at the first or last frame? Well, that's pretty simple, right? We have to look. Let me get one here. So if we look over here, what is that visual indicator? Anybody remember? Bueller. Yeah, it's the lower left L, and I think, yeah, my overlays aren't turned on. So that's going to be a problem. And let me show title safe. So let me do this. If I go, there we go. Since my overlays weren't on, I couldn't see the L, but there it is. So it's the L in the lower left means we're on the first frame, or the reverse L, which means we would be on the last frame. There we go. Okay, very good. So there you have that. Now, let's take a look here. When you want to look at audio, okay, what is the visual indicator to let us know that we're looking at audio? So when we're viewing an audio portion of the clip. So if we go up here, what do you call these things here? Waveforms. That's right. So we're looking at waveforms. It's a waveform display. So that's good. All right. Now let's take a look at 3 ways to create a bin. I think we know that. It's Command B, File, New Bin, or you can right click and create new bin. Okay, those are 3 ways to make a bin. Now, what are the keyboard shortcuts to save, hide, and quit Final Cut Pro? Are you ready? Save, hide, and quit. Well, that's easy. Keyboard shortcut Command S. Hide would be Command H. Okay, there it is, Command H, and to quit would be Command Q. Alright, there you go. That's lesson 1 in a nutshell. We'll come back with lesson 2 after this.